Here's Charlie Dickens, chapter 17, entitled Hurt. It was instant. It jolted Charlie's arm, and he did his best not to cry out. The last thing he wanted to do was to alert Tinker to what he'd done to himself. He didn't want to appear foolish, but as the pain shot up his arm, he knew that he was. His arm shook with the pain, and it was much worse than he expected. His whole arm had gone numb, and it was as if the electricity was still reaching out to him, as the pain would not go down. Now he could see why the cows were staying so far away from it, and Charlie knew that he wouldn't be making the same mistake again. He looked over at Tinker, who was dozing in the sunshine, and he was glad that he hadn't witnessed what he'd done. Charlie put his arm inside his coat, and he prayed that the throbbing pain would end. It felt like he had grabbed an electric eel, and it wouldn't let go. Tears stung his eyes, but he was determined not to cry. The cows were staring at him as if in sympathy, and slowly the pain in his arms subsided. Tinker woke up, and once again they were marching off through the fields. One of the cows was snorting and banging its hoof on the dusty floor. "Don't run," said Tinker helpfully. "It's a bull, and they can be dangerous," he added. Charlie tried not to touch his arm, but it was impossible. "What's wrong?" said Tinker. "Oh, I've got the cramp," lied Charlie, who was feeling guilty. It was not in his nature to lie. "At least it's not the fence," said Charlie, as a dragonfly caused the fence to buzz again. Tinker smiled, feeling worse than ever. "What shall we do now?" said Charlie, as he left the sleeping cows in the distance. "We're going to see what's at the other end of the cornfield," said Tinker, who never seemed to run out of puff. Charlie walked behind him breathlessly as the bright sun dimmed to an autumnal glow. It was hard going, but soon they were in the center, and all around them were yellow mustardy corn. "I need to lay down," said Charlie. "Me too," said Tinker, as he broke the stem off the corn, and he popped it into the side of his mouth, and he sucked on it, and he twirled it around as an old gentleman would with his pipe. Charlie looked up at the swaying corn, and he thought that it was beautiful in its own way. It was so simple, but so perfectly made, he thought. It swayed like a metronome in the wind, but made no noise. To Charlie, it was comforting like hot chocolate on a cold winter's night, and known to both of them as they were dozing. Two older boys were playing with matches in the cornfield. It was a foolish thing to do, and then the inevitable happened. Fire took hold.